Welcome to the American Field Trip Podcast. We are coming at you with season 2 after a bit of a break and hoping that we've figured out enough of the technical and logistical aspects of making a podcast that we can bring this to you consistently every week. And we're excited about it. So officially in season 2, this podcast is sponsored by LL Bean. We are ambassadors for LL Bean and we love them very much. And today we just wanted to give you a little preview of what is coming up in season 2, some new segments that we're going to be organizing the content of the podcast around. And then for a little bonus treat, we wanted to figure out which Taylor Swift album would match with which national park. Is that the right way to say that?
If each Taylor Swift album were a national park, which national park would it be?
Which one would it be?
We are both fans of Taylor Swift and the national parks.
Yes, bringing together two of our great loves and passions. And it's, zeitgeisty. So last season we had some bigger topics that each episode comprised. We want to keep doing that and have a main topic that'll make the body of the podcast episode. But we want to start off each week giving you a little bit of news from the Park Service. The Park Service is always up to something.
There's always stuff going on. We keep up on the news and yeah.
We want to pass it on to you.
For sure.
So we're just going to call that Scuttlebutt. The Scuttlebutt.
The Scuttlebutt.
Because what did we learn about scuttlebutts?
We learned
on the USS Constitution this
that
summer.
It's a real word. That is not a silly, that's a historical term. It's a historical term.
It is a historical term for the water jug, like barrel on a ship. Barrel. So everybody would go there to get fresh water. So literally it was a water cooler and it is, a nautical term.
Also related, a buttload is a unit of measure. It's one scuttlebutt full.
So those are real things, but we learned about that connection at a national park site.
Yeah, the things you can learn. You never know what you're going to learn.
So we'll start out each episode by giving you the scuttlebutt. And then we're going to be getting questions from you on our Instagram, or we can probably set up like a question box.
We get a lot of questions. Some of those questions are really like, I don't know. We think that more people would want to hear the answers to that than just, responding to people in our DMs.
Yeah. So we want to bring some of those questions onto here to give you a bit longer of an answer. And if that can be helpful to more people, hopefully that will be.
Yeah. So if you got questions,
you'll enjoy.
Hit us up on Instagram, hit us up on our email on our website. And
yes.
Yeah. Let us know what you want to hear.
Yeah. One of the most frequent questions that we get, and a thing that we thought deserved its own segment, is people who have like a rough idea, some parameters around a road trip that they want to take somewhere in the United States, and have questions for us about like, how long do I need to spend in this park? What are some places that I can see if I'm making a drive with my family from here to here and we have a week? Things like that, things of that nature.
We get so many trip planning questions that we thought it deserved its own segment.
We are going to call that segment Quick Trip. And we are going to quickly help you come up with some ideas within whatever parameters you have.
Yeah, we will give you our opinion for whatever that's worth.
We'll research too. And within what we have learned from traveling around the United States, we hope to be able to find some ideas that are helpful for you. So those will be some new segments that we're starting. And then the body of the episode will deal with different topics that relate to national parks and traveling, road tripping. This year, we're pretty excited because David has a sabbatical that we'll be taking this summer. Every 5 years at his company, employees get 3 months off. And we're going to be using his sabbatical to travel and see a bunch of national park sites. And so we will have a lot of planning content for you around how we are doing that, how we're scheduling that. And hopefully we can take our road tripping knowledge and help you out with your summer plans as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways,
let's talk about Taylor.
Yeah, let's talk about Taylor Swift. Let's talk about what important things here. So
we're going to go through chronologically.
This was your idea. Tell us where this idea came from. I feel like this needs to be explained a little bit.
Well, as we know, Taylor is great at embodying a vibe with each album.
Yes.
She has moved through many different eras.
Queen of vibes.
She is. She's great with the vibes. And national parks are very vibey places. And really, I just wanted an excuse to talk about these and relate these two things.
We need to count how many times we say vibe during this episode. I feel like we're going to end up saying it a lot.
That is totally what we're going off. 100% pure vibes.
Yes.
This
pure
is
vibes. The best pure vibes.
Yeah. This is, of course, just our opinion. Please don't be offended.
Please do be offended, but just comment about it, you know?
There are Taylor Swift albums that I care for more than others. I'm not like, neither of us are like OG fans. Like, we have known of her work and enjoyed it, but we're not like, I don't think we have earned the title of full Swifties.
No.
I don't. Yeah. So
we've been longtime fans and appreciators, though.
So much. Yeah. Appreciate so much.
We don't have any like t-shirts or like Taylor Swift themed accessories.
No.
But we listen to her a lot and have for a long time.
Yes.
That's our credentials. At me if you want. Come at me.
So we're starting off with Taylor's debut album, her self-titled Taylor Swift.
Yes.
David, this was your idea, the comparison to the national park for this one.
I mean, let's just describe the album.
Okay.
Maybe. Tell them, for those that aren't familiar, we can't play clips or else we'll get copyright strikes, but describe it. Sing a few bars.
I won't do that. But Taylor is young. She's just starting out.
Very young.
She's getting her start. She is really a kid when she's writing a lot of these songs, and she's writing about kid things, which is one of my favorite things about her, is that as a fan, I have grown up with her because we are just about the same age. And so she's
I too
writing
was
about...
born in 1989.
He was, yeah. I wasn't, but that's fine. She's talking about high school loves, and she's talking about her mom, and it's just like, it's cute. Is her musicality fully developed? Is her sound all the way there? No. Is her songwriting in its like infancy and starting to show some really amazing positive things? Yes. Is she storytelling like a boss like Taylor does? Yes, she is. So it's a super solid start. And in the National Park Service, what was the super solid start, David?
The super solid start by some metrics. There are a few parks that claim to be the first one, but really, if you talk to the rangers at Hot Springs National Park in Arkansas, they are the first. They were set aside as a protected area by the French before America even had it. So
yes, and
first national park. Some say it is.
It is. So technically, yes, this was the first protected area of U.S. land. Yes, the French protected it. And then in 1832, Andrew Jackson signed into law that this was a protected area and its resources were protected. So kind of mirrored the language that the National Park Service would later adopt for official national parks.
Yes. Before national parks were a concept.
So it was the beginning.
It was the first one.
It was new.
It has an accent. It's a little bit country.
It's Arkansas.
Kind of like Taylor's first album.
Country. It's finding itself. It's figuring out what this idea of conservation and preservation is going to mean for the United States. And then
it's also not everybody's favorite. Maybe, comment below if Taylor Swift's debut is your favorite. It's not my favorite. I like it just fine. Yeah. But if I'm listening to something, I'm not listening to that. And again, I feel like I'm dragging Hot Springs, which everyone loves to drag Hot Springs, but
well, we'll just leave it there. They were both early things.
Early.
That set up, that paved the way for what was to come.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
They have a little twang, and they're the national parks did even better things as it developed.
Yeah. Like, let's talk about album number 2, which was Fearless, which is Taylor at her I think, at her country best.
Yes. And what a sophomore album. Can we just talk about sophomore albums are tough, you know? This was like The Godfather Part 2.
She delivered. She really did. Yeah. So we've got Love Story. We've got You Belong With Me. Too. We've got Fearless. We've got all these hits that if you know about Taylor Swift or you have heard music, you have probably heard these songs.
Yes.
And they remain a lot of people's favorites, even though this album has been out for many, many years.
Yes.
So I'm a big fan of Fearless. It's my favorite of her early albums. And the comparison to a national park, if this album were a national park, we feel that it would be Yellowstone National Park.
It's iconic.
It's iconic. Everybody who knows about the national parks knows about Yellowstone.
Yeah. Worldwide. Think of a national park, they're like, oh, that geyser thing and the bears.
Yes.
It has the geysers and the bears and some mountains, and it's Yellowstone.
It's for sure got some greatest hits that everybody knows about. It's also got like some hidden things at Yellowstone that not everybody knows about. Lots of depth. And so, so we think that they both, require a real perusal.
Exactly. Everybody knows Love Story, but the real fans know The Best Day, and Yellowstone has its analogs.
And we hope someday you get to have your best day.
Yeah.
At Yellowstone National Park.
Nice. Good transition. Take us on to Speak Now.
All right. Speak Now. Okay. Speak Now, we feel would be Great Smoky Mountains National Park. This is, of course, Tennessee's national park. Great Smoky Mountains straddles the border between Tennessee and North Carolina. It's very country. The Smokies are Dolly Parton. They are like the heart of what we think of when we think of like country Western music.
Talking about vibes. Country vibes.
Very vibey.
Very vibes.
Also, the color that comes to mind when I think of Great Smokies is like the purpley haze of the Smoky Mountains, which purple is like the color of Speak Now.
Yeah. It's the album cover.
It is Taylor's final like solidly country album. Also, Taylor wrote this one all herself. She was getting a lot of heat for people who didn't think that she was actually writing her own music. And so she decided to clap back at the haters by writing this album all herself with no co-writers.
Yeah.
No help.
No extra credits on this one.
No extra credits. So this is pure Taylor, and we feel that the Great Smoky Mountains are pure country Western. Yeah. Great Smokies are, famously the most visited national park in the U.S. National Park Service.
Yeah, by a huge margin.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know what that has to do with Taylor Swift.
I don't know, but that's just a fact about Great Smoky Mountains for you.
But that's a fact. It's very iconic, and it is a very solid park.
Yeah.
Is it my favorite park in the NPS?
No, but it's great.
No. But I
go there any day of the week.
Yeah. It's fantastic. It's got great stuff.
All right.
Take us on to
Red. Red is the next one. And Red. So Red was Taylor's like big pop album where all the country fans freaked out and said that she had sold out. And it was
she's crossing over. She's trying new things.
This is top 40 radio hits here. This is like when it really like Taylor is a pop star now. You've got 22. You've got Red. You've got stuff that was like on heavy rotation.
Never, ever getting back together.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So this is defining a lot of what future Taylor Swift albums would contain. And it's also called Red. And so we think this is the Utah parks because it's all of them collectively, all 5 of them. And they are red. They are also red. That seems a little...
It's on the nose.
It's a little on the nose. But hear me out. I think that the Utah parks are like the National Park Service's like top 40 radio debut, Great Smoky Mountains, very, very popular, like with people that live around there, but fewer like tourists from China are coming to the Great Smoky Mountains. They definitely come, but not like Arches, not like some of the places in Utah that, became just ubiquitous on Instagram, really like they are the top 40 radio hits of the National Park Service, I think.
They are.
And they're red. The rocks are red.
They are literally red. They're very popular. They're a little bit country. They're a little bit rock and roll. They have something for everyone.
Yes.
They're joyful. They're sunny.
They're wonderful.
They're wonderful. And then you've also got like some things in the parks that'll like break your heart, like all too well.
Yeah.
If we had to narrow in, I'd put red as like the Moab Park specifically, like Arches and Canyonlands. But I think we're fudging a little bit, and we're just going to have all 5.
This is a silly rate. This is like a silly thing anyways. We do whatever we want here.
Yes, we can. Okay. 1989. This is really where Taylor goes full pop synth. This is, the album that sparks a lot of backlash for her. As she's like fully transitioned out of country. There's no country sound really on this album at all.
This is a pop album.
This is a pop album. She's moved to New York. She is trying to get away more from relationship-y songs because she's getting so much negative feedback for that. So she's talking about being with her friends and moving to New York and starting all of this new phase of her life. The East Coast park that came to mind, because there aren't very many.
No.
Was Acadia.
One of the closest parks to New York.
It is also
Welcome
close
to New York is on this album.
Also close to her Rhode Island home.
Yes.
So this Acadia's got beaches. It's got the first sunrise in the contiguous United States that you can see. It's got, it's got carriage roads. It's got Rockefeller history. It's got popovers that you can get at the little pond in right there. That's in kind of in the middle. It's got a lot of range. Acadia does. And why else? 1989 is honestly the hardest one for us to figure out. Like, what
I just
park
really
it
love
would be.
1989. I really love Acadia. So just trust us. It's Acadia. It is. Yes. We're experts. Trust us. Believe us.
Okay.
Reputation. You'll have to talk more to this one. Reputation is Everglades because snakes. Because snakes. Because
snakes, gators, and other reptiles.
Aggressive reptiles.
Like Taylor in the year before Reputation came out, Everglades is a little bit hidden.
Right.
You have
it's a
to
little under the radar.
It's we're aware of the Everglades, but I think to really get to really appreciate the Everglades, you got to kind of get in there on the ground and experience the beauty there of this landscape that not everyone has always appreciated.
Yeah.
But
snakes.
Mostly snakes.
Some of which are invasive. Pythons, tons of pythons there, and they're not supposed to be there. There's a huge bounty on them. There's people who go hunt pythons in the Everglades because they're
it's a real problem. We hoped to run over one in our bus when we were there.
I know. All the rangers were like, if you see a python on the road, run it over. Kill it. We don't want them.
Just as we would like to kill all of the hate for Taylor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Kill the hate.
All right, David. What is Lover?
Lover's Joshua Tree because vibes. Because vibes.
Vibes.
Lover, I think Lover is the vibiest.
It's sunny. Joshua Tree is
Cruel Summer is just the vibiest of vibey Taylor Swift songs, and it's Joshua Tree. It just
Joshua Tree is also the pinkest national park.
So pink.
Of all the parks. We have watched the sunset in every national park in the United States. The pinkest one, the one where the light just becomes magical and you would fall in love with everything that you see, is in Joshua Tree.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's really no more to that one. It just is.
Also, the song London Boy makes me very embarrassed. And there are things that I saw in Joshua Tree, things that I saw people wearing on hikes that were hurting them.
That made you cringe a little bit.
I could see that these shoes were hurting them.
Yes.
That also made me feel sad and embarrassed.
Yes.
So
no shade.
No.
London Boy, it's not our favorite.
Yeah.
Cruel Summer might be my favorite Taylor Swift song. Love that song.
It's really good.
It's great.
Folklore is my favorite Taylor Swift album, which is not, I'm not comparing it to my very favorite park. Like, I can't have a favorite park, but Taylor has two 2020 albums. They are both very folky. She is playing with like telling other people's stories through song and like doing a little bit more biographical stuff versus autobiographical. Folklore is a summer album. I think if it were a park, it would be Redwood National Park.
Yeah. Also, there's trees on the album cover.
There are trees and they're tall.
Redwoods known for its trees.
Redwood.
There's not redwood trees on the cover of the album, but...
No, but probably only because she couldn't get to them because this was like pandemic times.
That's right. She just couldn't get there.
So yeah, Redwood is the most foresty of forests. What I want to listen to when I am in Redwood is folklore. I want to listen to folk music. I want, it's a
great album.
It's what it is. And then Evermore, the sister album to Folklore, is her other folk album, very similar sound, but this is more of a winter album. And I think that it would be Olympic. Mm-hmm. I think Evermore is like a little moodier. Mm-hmm. It's got range like Olympic has. It's got high highs. It's also got like, like steamy rainforest.
Yeah. Like a stormy rocky beach.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that Evermore is Olympic National Park.
I love that.
Okay, last one. Midnights.
Midnights.
We're going to have to do an update when the Tortured Poets Department comes out. But I feel like just based on cover vibes, I feel like it might be Yosemite.
It might be.
I don't know. We don't know.
Have to see.
But Midnights, it's got to be Alaska. Mm-hmm. It's moody. It's dark. But it's also got like some really bright moments. Yeah. Like Alaska's like all sun or no sun, Alaska's like... just a studying contrast. Mm-hmm. And this song's got like, this album, has like love songs, but it's also, is it a breakup album? I think it might be.
Who knows?
I think it might be.
You'll have to check the message boards for the answers to that.
So question. Like Denali, I could see like Glacier
Yeah.
Bay, like Kenai Fjords, like one of those.
I think Denali, just to pick one, it's Denali.
Yeah. And nothing is more bejeweled than like a glacier.
Yeah.
When the sun hits it.
No, of course not.
It's the most.
It's the most.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's literally snow on the beach.
There is.
A lot of the time.
There is.
In Alaska. So.
It's weird. It is.
So those are Taylor Swift albums as national parks. I think that's definitive. I think we should just say that's like... Those are... You
heard it here.
We captured it perfectly. We did that just right.
Yeah.
No notes. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, hopefully you don't hate us for talking about Taylor Swift.
I feel like the only other musical artist that we could do this with is like Radiohead. I think that's like the only other artist that maybe we know well enough. Yeah, I think we should do that later. Okay. Yeah. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for more nonsense. So we are so looking forward to all of the topics that we have planned for you coming up in season 2, and these new segments that we're going to be doing. It's
going to be great. Stay tuned. Subscribe. Tell your friends.
Yep. We hope you enjoy. And thank you so much for listening.
Thanks. Like and subscribe, comment. Tell us if you think we're insane for even talking about this, or if you have just passionate opinions that are not ours. If you think we're very wrong, please argue with us about this.
Please do, because our thoughts about Taylor as national parks can be refined.
Yes,
for sure.
For sure.
Because some of these were, let's admit it, a real stretch.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. We'll catch you on the next one.